What if I told you that the entire secret of the universe, the entire mystery of consciousness itself, could be found in just 12 short verses? An ancient text so powerful yet so concise that it was said, for a soul seeking ultimate freedom, this one text alone is sufficient. This isn't a riddle, it's an invitation to explore what is considered the shortest but perhaps the deepest and most profound of all the Upanishads. Welcome to the first step of our journey together. Welcome to the gateway. Welcome to the Mandukya Upanishads. Many of us, when we hear the word philosophy or Upanishads, we may think of dusty old books, complex ideas meant only for scholars in monasteries. But the wisdom we are about to explore today is the opposite of that. It is not an abstract theory, it is a practical, scientific, and intimate investigation into the one thing that we all have access to 24 hours a day, our own consciousness. This Upanishad doesn't ask you to believe in anything, it simply asks you to look at your own experiences, an experience that unfolds in three distinct stages every single day of your life: the waking state, the dreaming state, and the state of a deep, dreamless sleep. The sages who composed this text were the ultimate scientists of the interior world. They proposed that if we can fully understand these three states, we can understand the totality of reality itself. To guide us, they gave us a map, a symbol that contains the entire blueprint of existence. That symbol is the sacred syllable Om. For most of us, Om is the sound we hear in yoga class, a sound of peace, but in the Mandukya, it is so much more. It is a complete equation for reality. It is a GPS for your own consciousness. The sound that makes up Om, A, U, M, and the silence that follows are a perfect representation of our journey through these states. Let's begin with the first sound. This represents the waking state, what the Upanishads calls Jagrat. This is where we spend most of our perceived life. Right now, you are in the waking state. Your eyes are open, your ears are hearing my voice, your mind is processing these words. The Upanishad says that in this state, your consciousness is turned outwards. It is engaged with the gross, physical world through your five senses. This is the state of the everyday I, the personality, the ego that goes to work, that pays the bills, feels happy, feels sad. It's the self that we identify with most strongly. The text calls this waking state Vaishvarna. To understand this better, let's use an analogy. Imagine the world of reality is a vast, infinite ocean. The waking state, Jagrat, is like the surface of that ocean. It's full of waves, big waves, small waves, waves crashing on the shore, waves reflecting the sunlight. Each wave is distinct. It has a beginning and an end. A wave might think, I'm a big wave, or I'm a small wave, and that wave over there is different from me. This is our waking ego, our Vaishvarna, identifying with its temporary forms, its job title, its nationality, its body, its world of actions, interactions, and seeming separations. In the language of modern neuroscience, this is the state of beta brain waves. active, busy, processing the external world. It's our conscious mind, fully engaged and turned outward. Then, as the day ends, we transition. We enter the second state, represented by the sound in the arm. This is the dreaming state, or sapna. Here our consciousness is no longer turned outward. The physical world disappears. Our consciousness turns inward. We become an inner filmmaker. We create entire worlds, characters, and dramas from the subtle impressions left over from our waking state. In the dream, a person who is a pauper can become a king. A minute can feel like a lifetime. The laws of physics, time, and space no longer apply. This dreaming self, this creative internal consciousness is called Taijasa. In our ocean analogy, the dreaming state is not the waves on the surface, it is the undercurrents moving beneath. These currents are subtle, powerful, and invisible from the shore. They have their own logic, their own directions, created by the memory of the winds and tides on the surface, but they operate in a world of their own. They are the hidden movements of our psyche. Modern psychology, from Freud to Jung, understand the power of this realm. It is the gateway to our subconsciousness, the world of symbols and archetypes. Neuroscientists see it as the state of REM sleep, where the brain is just as active as when we are awake, pulsing with theta waves, consolidating memories, and perhaps even problem solving in its own mysterious way. But then we go even deeper. The dreams fade and we fall into a state of pure, dreamless, deep sleep. This is represented by the final sound mm. The Upanishads calls this state Sushupti. Now, this is the most misunderstood state of all. We tend to think of deep sleep as a void, a complete shutdown, a waste of time, where we cease to exist. We say, I was knocked out, as if consciousness was absent. But the sages say the very opposite. They say that in deep sleep, consciousness is not absent, it is simply unified. It has become a single, undifferentiated mass of awareness. There are no dreams, no thoughts, no desires, no I to experience anything. It is a state of pure potentiality. The text calls the sleeper self prajna and describes it as a state of bliss, a state of peace. You know this too, because when you wake up from a deep dreamless sleep, you feel profoundly rested. You say, I slept so well, I didn't know a thing. But who is this I that knows it didn't know a thing? Something was there to witness the absence of experience. In our oceanology, our deep sleep is the vast, silent, deep sea, far below the surface waves and in the mid-level currents. This is just a profound stillness. There is no forms, no movements, just a unified mass of water. This is the causal state. It is the womb from which all the waves and currents are born every single morning and into which they dissolve every single night. It's a nightly dip into the source of your being. From a neuroscience perspective, it is a realm of slow delta waves, a state of deep restoration. But from a physiological standpoint, it is a profound clue. It shows us that we can exist, that consciousness can exist without a body, without a mind, without an ego. Now, as we, A, the waking state, U, the dreaming state, and Yam, the deep sleep state, the greatest secret of the Mandukya Upanishad is most profound revelation. It is not in any of the sounds. It is in what comes after the silence. The silence after you chant, oh, that is the fourth state. It is not called the fourth because it comes after the other three in a sequence. It is called the fourth, Turiya, because it is beyond the other three. It is the reality which underlies them all. Turiya is not another experience. It is the very field of awareness in which all experiences, waking, dreaming, and sleeping, happens. It is the ever-present, unchanging witness. The Upanishads struggles to describe it in words because words exist in the waking state. So it describes it by what it is not. It says, Turiya is not consciousness turned inward, like the dreamer, not consciousness turned outward, like the water, not a mass of consciousness like the deep sleep. It is unseen, unthinkable, undescribable. It is the ultimate reality, the ground of all being. Let's go back to our ocean. The waking state is the waves. The dreaming state is the undercurrent. The deep sleep state is the deep silent sea. Then what is Turiya? Turiya is the water. The water is the substance that makes up the wave, the current, and the deep sea. The water is present in all three states, yet it is never defined by any of them. The water isn't born when the wave rises, and it doesn't die when the wave crashes. The water is eternal, untouched, and ever present. To realize Turiya is to realize that you are not the temporary wave, you are the eternal ocean. Or think of it this way: waking, dreaming, and sleep and deep sleep are like a movie playing on a screen. The waking state is an action movie. The dream state is a surreal fantasy film. Deep sleep is when the screen goes dark between the scenes. We are so engrossed in the movie, we think we are the characters on the screen. We laugh when they laugh. We cry when they cry. But Turiya, it is the screen itself. The screen is always there, whether the movie is a comedy or a tragedy. The fire on the screen doesn't burn it. The flood on the screen doesn't wet it. The screen is the silent, untouched witness of the entire film. The goal of this philosophy is to shift your identification, to stop identifying the characters in the movie, and to realize your true nature as the screen upon which it all plays out. The Upanishad says this state is Shantam Shivam Advaitam. It is absolute pure, it is pure auspiciousness, it is non-dual. It is your true self, your Atman, and that self is one with the ultimate reality of the cosmos, Brahman. This isn't some esoteric idea confined to India. The great Tamil Siddha, Tirumula, spoke of these very states of consciousness. The modern sage Ramana Maharishi gave us a direct method to experience this truth. His entire teaching of self-enquiry, the constant questioning of who am I, is a practical application of the Mandukya. When you ask who am I, you are peeling back the layers. I am not this body, that's the waking state. I am not these thoughts, that's the waking and dreaming state. You are negating everything until you are left with a pure, silent awareness that witnesses it all. That I, that is behind the I thought, that is Turiya. And here is where this ancient philosophy becomes a powerful tool for social change. This is the cause and the heart of our channel. This is the root of all human conflicts. What is the source of racism, of casteism, of religious bigotry, of nationalism? It is a profound and tragic case of mistaken identity. It is when we over-identify with the waking state self, the Vaishvarna, the way we build our entire identity on these temporary external labels. My skin color, my wealth, my country, my religion. We believe I am this way and you are that way, and my way is better than your way. The Mandukya Upanishad demolishes this illusion. Its ultimate teaching is Advaita, non duality. If the self in me, the screen, the water, is the very same self in you, then on the most fundamental level of reality, we are not separate. The other is an illusion created by our senses in the waking state. The ancient Tamil poets knew this when they wrote, Yadumure, Yavarum Keli. Every place is my home and every person is my kin. This isn't just a line of poetry, it is a social and political expression of the highest metaphysical truth. When you realize this, compassion is no longer a moral duty you have to force yourself to practice. It becomes the natural, logical state of being. Harming another person becomes as illogical as your right arm, right hand trying to harm your left hand. You realize that their pain is your pain, not out of pity, but out of recognition. This is the foundation for true, lasting social reform. It is not about fighting an enemy out there, but about healing the perceived division within our own shared self. So the Mandukya gives us a profound gift. It shows us that we are infinitely more than the limited personality we think we are. It gives us a map in the form of O to navigate our own consciousness. It reveals that deep sleep is not an absence, but a nightly pilgrimage to our source. And most importantly, it tells us that our true nature, Turiya, this vast, silent, peaceful awareness, is not something we have to achieve or attain. It is already there. It is what you are right now, witnessing these words, witnessing this world. You are the silent screen, eternal and untouched. And the purpose of life is simply to realize it. Thank you for joining me on this first step. If this exploration of ancient wisdom for modern life resonates with you, please subscribe to I Have a Cause and walk with us on this path of discovery. In our next episode, we will go even deeper. We will encounter the brilliant mind of Gaudapada, a master who wrote the earliest commentary on this Upanishad, and we will explore his radical, mind-bending teaching called the doctrine of no creation. We will dare to ask the question, what if this world, this you, this me, what if nothing was ever really born and nothing ever truly died? Until then, be well.